Good morning or good evening, Cardano Nation, depending on where you're watching this from. Welcome back to the official Dapp Central YouTube channel. My name is Fareed and I'm your host here. And as a part of today's brief update here, I want to talk about Cardano and some of the developments that we've seen within the ecosystem. So first things first, it is Friday, and so we're going to kick things off with a brief review of the weekly development report. Following that, I want to talk about GitHub development and exactly where Cardano ranks. And then after that, I want to take a quick look at some price action here, given the fact that Bitcoin has broken above $30,000 and Cardano is now trading above 43 cents. Now, after that, I want to talk a little bit about Genius Yield and the fact that they've hit some milestones here when it comes to staking on their Gens platform, as well as NMKR, which continues to adopt AI. And then in closing, we've got an NFT project, the Danketsu project, which is going to be moving over to Polygon. Now, if it's your first time stopping by this channel, my goal here is to provide you guys in the community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews. If you guys find my information here to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me about any of the topics we're going to be talking about today, then please make sure to leave a comment down below. I'm also a single stake pool operator operating the official Dapp Central stake pool. And if you guys want to support me on my mission to educate the broader Cardano community, then consider delegating with the stake pool ticker DAPP. Throughout the month of April all the way through May, I'll be giving away the MELD and Gens tokens to delegators within the stake pool. Jumping into the very first topic here, I want to break down the Cardano weekly development report. So as of April 14th, we now have 124 projects building or launched, 1,200 builders, 8.11 million native tokens, over 71,000 token policies, 77,000 scripts, and 64 million total transactions. In terms of Plutus V2 scripts, which we do a pretty good job of keeping track of here, we've got an adoption of about 15 since the last week. Now, some key highlights here on the left-hand side. The Lace Light wallet is now officially live on the Mainnet. If you guys missed my particular video, this was released about 2 days ago, and I basically broke down some of the existing features that are available within Lace version 1.1, and I also briefly spoke on what we can expect when it comes to the future versions of Lace. Now, in terms of what we can expect in the future for Lace, we have seen some talks surrounding dashboards, as well as multi-wallet support, and most recently, a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. So some pretty cool updates there coming to Lace. If you guys have not given it a try, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and do so. It does seem to be a pretty sturdy, robust, and simple wallet to actually use. That is going to wrap it up there for updates here when it comes to the weekly Cardano development report. Just trying to keep this very quick for you guys on today. The next update I want to talk about here is going to be the weekly GitHub development report. So as we can see here, we got Decentraland, which is going to be a metaverse, coming in at number 1. We've got Cardano coming in at number 2 this week, followed by Polkadot at number 3. So last week Cardano was at number 3 and it now has bumped up to number 2. So again, keep in mind that this is only for a brief span of time. So we do see a lot of these projects really fluctuate up and down. Another notable item here is going to be Cosmos coming in at number 5, Chainlink, which is going to be an Oracle platform, coming in at number 6. And then very lastly, Ethereum, which just had their Shanghai upgrade, which allows for members within that community to now stake and unstake their Ethereum as they wish or freely, just like we do here on Cardano, which has just launched as of yesterday or April 13th. So pretty solid updates here within the actual crypto space. Again, shout out to the Ethereum network for their Shanghai upgrade. That was one that a lot of their community was waiting on for quite a bit of time. Now, I just want to take a second here just to kind of share this quick meme here, a little bit of humor here on this Friday with you guys. This is surrounding Bitcoin and Solana TVL and the fact that Cardano is going to be catching up to him. So we've got this guy driving here and he's looking in his mirror and he sees Cardano really catching up. So I got a good laugh out of this one. Hopefully you guys did too. Moving straight into the next section here, what I want to do is briefly take a look at some of the price action that we've seen within the crypto space. If you guys have not been keeping up with Bitcoin specifically, it has now broken over the 30,000 milestone, and this actually occurred early last week. So let me share my screen here with you guys, and what I want to share is going to be the fact that we are now well above the 50-day average as well as the 200-day moving average here when it comes to Bitcoin. So let me see if I can reset this chart here. And as you guys can see, we are breaking past some of the prior resistance, and we're now coming up to another level of resistance, which is right about the $31,000 to $32,000 range. Now, if I jump into Cardano, the community has really been excited here, given the fact that we have now also seen Cardano break above 43 cents. We were really struggling to get above the 41-cent level, and as of yesterday, we were able to successfully break through. Now, this also puts Cardano in a really good position, given the fact that we are now also trading above both of these lines here, which are going to be the 50-day moving average, as well as the green line, which is going to be the 200-day slower moving average. As you guys can see here, during the bull market, we were riding well above both of these averages. And since the actual kickoff of the bear market, which this was a clear indicator here of that bear market really starting off, we have not been able to break above the golden line, which is the 50-day moving average, as well as the 200-day moving average, which we have not even gotten close to testing up until very recently. So this does seem to be a very slow momentum shift from the bear to the bull. And I personally do believe that the worst is really behind us. Now, I know that there's people right now within the space that continue to be bearish. I think everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but if it's just me personally, it does look like we are riding this wave now where we have now flipped over the 50-day and the 200, and we're now going to be treating them as support as opposed to this downtrend where we're treating them as resistance. As you guys can see here, we really failed to break above the 50-day thoroughly up until this past week. Now, if I jump over here into this chart, what I want to talk about is going to be the path to altcoin season. If you guys are not aware, altcoins are going to be basically any coin that is not Bitcoin or Ethereum, given the fact that those are probably the biggest two platforms right now in terms of adoption and growth. And so Cardano is considered an altcoin right now, but I personally don't think so, given the fact that it is a smart contract platform or network that actually has much more thorough technology than Bitcoin and Ethereum, in my personal opinion. And so what we normally see when it comes to altcoins having a rise in valuations and a bull market is going to be a shift of liquidity from the big players, which include Bitcoin and Ethereum, then down to the larger caps and then some of the smaller cap altcoins. So number one here in phase one, we have the flow of money, which moves into Bitcoin, causing a price surge. And if you take a look at the Bitcoin dominance right now, Bitcoin does appear to really be leading the market. And then number two, or before we get to phase number two, we begin to see the fact that Ethereum kind of picks up and starts to actually lead Bitcoin. Now, as a part of phase number two, we see a full liquidity shift from Bitcoin, right, which has really been leading the market, shift straight into Ethereum, which, as I mentioned, is going to be the second or the runner up here when it comes to adoption and market cap. So in phase two, we have Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear folks talk about the flippening. Third, we have a phase overlap here before we actually go into the large caps or the altcoins, where we have money which is flowing into large caps. And then we actually have phase three coming into full engagement here, where we have Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, and large caps are now about to go parabolic. After that, we jump into alt season, where we see a lot of these smaller cap coins, right, really kind of just blow off the top. And that's really when I think a lot of eyes and a lot of people come into the crypto market. So we are well on our way there. Bitcoin does still seem to be way ahead of the curve, but over the course of, I think, the next few months, especially going into the halving here, which I talked about as a part of my last video, where Bitcoin becomes more scarce, right? And we have a deflation happening. We really start to see a lot of the price action trail up. And then, as I mentioned, the altcoins following after Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the large caps have pumped. That is going to take us there through the first two updates here, which we've talked about, the Cardano Weekly Development Report and some recent price action. Now, I want to take a quick minute here just to plug in the fact that I recently had an interview with Mickey Watkins surrounding World Mobile, and he's going to be the CEO of this particular platform, which is aiming to connect the unconnected through a sharing economy. So as a part of my video, which I will be releasing here within the next 24 to 48 hours, make sure to stay tuned. If you guys are not already doing so, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notification bells. But he and I were able to talk about AYA, which is going to be their sidechain, and the fact that they've just released their white paper surrounding AYA. We also talked a little bit about nodes, as well as their rollout or expansion within the Zanzibar region. We talked about Pakistan, the US expansion, their B2C app, which was just released in Zanzibar, as well as their global app, which is undergoing testing right now in Australia. And then in closing, we talked about OPAN or Operation Air Nodes, and I've got some closing remarks there from Mickey, the man himself. So again, this was a pretty awesome interview. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Karan. Thank you, Zach, for connecting us and really making this happen. I could not be any more thankful for that particular opportunity, and I look forward to continuing to cover the World Mobile Project here on my channel. Now, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It really does make a huge difference here, and helps to spread this Cardano content here in the community. That said, I do want to jump into providing some quick updates here surrounding MELD and some major announcements that we heard yesterday. Now, I did have a fully dedicated video on this, so I'm not going to spend too much time here, but on May 3rd, we're going to get a lot of movement here from MELD launching on the mainnet. So there's going to be two key parts coming online, which are going to be their MELD app or their wallet, as well as their layer 1 mainnet. Now, they're going to be building on Avalanche, and that's where their layer 1 is going to be hosted at as an Avalanche subnet. So as a part of the wallet, we can expect support for Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, Avalanche, MELD, and the Binance Smart Chain networks, as well as the ability to bridge assets between Cardano, MELD, Ethereum, Avalanche, and the Binance Smart Chain. They will support native ADA staking, and they're also going to have CNFT support within the MELD app. So if you hold the Diamond Hand NFT or your bank manager, which should be coming very, very soon. That's correct, very soon. I believe it'll be here before the actual May 3rd launch. You'll also be able to see those within your wallet. Now, they will also be incorporating Web3 Auth.io, and they'll also be providing a multi-sig feature within the Cardano community, which I think will be internal first, but then will be spread to the general public. Again, I don't want to spend too much time here talking about that, since I did have a fully dedicated video. If you guys want more details surrounding the updates on MELD, then go ahead and check out that playlist, which I've left down in the description below. The next update I want to chat about is going to be Genius Yield. If you guys have not heard of Genius Yield, they're going to be a order book style DEX right now building on Cardano, and they've already released their staking platform with their DEX expected sometime in 2023. And so this announcement here basically states the fact that as a part of the circulating supply of the GENS tokens, which there's going to be a total supply of 100 million, we'll take a look at their tokenomics here in just a second, that 5 million GENS tokens have already been staked. This is now going to be almost 40% of the current circulating supply, and this does not include vested GENS being staked by delegators. On top of that, they do have their own NFT collection, which actually provides a boost if you're staking on their platform, and there's now over 2,400 NFTs which have also been staked. If I jump over into their tokenomics section here, we can see exactly how many tokens are going to be available for the GENS platform. And as I mentioned before, they have a total supply of 100 million tokens, where we saw a total of 3 million tokens being allocated for their for the initial public sale, as well as their ISPO, which had a total of 16 million tokens allocated to it. Now, before we close out today's segment here surrounding Genius Yield, I have to mention that the GENS stake pools have closed. So there's going to be a total of 4 of them, and of which 3 of them have officially closed. And so GENS 1 is still available. GENS 2 is closed now. GENS 3 and GENS X have all retired. So there's going to be a total of about 12 million ADA right now currently staked or delegated to those 3 pools alone, and with over more than, I think, 1,500 delegators that are still delegated to those stake pools. So make sure to move your stake. You can either come to GENS 1, or you can come support a SPO like myself with the Dapp Central stake pool. Moving to the next update, I want to chat with you guys a little bit about NMKR and their growing adoption of AI. So it states here, when you open a support ticket using NMKR, we're now going to be auto-generating an AI response based on your request. That way, we hope to answer some of your questions before human support can get back to you. Now, they mentioned a recent integration with ChatGPT. If you guys have somehow missed the entire ChatGPT narrative, that's going to be an AI-driven platform providing extremely valuable responses. And another cool thing to mention is that the NMKR team has already incorporated ChatGPT within their documentation. So I had a video covering that as well. But if you watch that, you can actually see that the documentation section within the NMKR platform now supports the ability for you to ask questions, and ChatGPT actually answers you directly. So 2 new ways that they're plugging in ChatGPT into their protocol, or into their platform, I should say. It's not necessarily a protocol, but that's going to be into their documentation and to their support ticket system. Again, pretty quick update here surrounding this platform. And in closing up today's video, I want to chat with you guys about the Danketsu NFT project. Now, this was previously known as the ADA Ninjas project, and they've now rebranded as Danketsu, but they're now going to be moving over into Polygon. So it states here, Danketsu NFT is now on Polygon. An OG project on Cardano is expanding their Danketsu Hustle platform and more to Polygon. Their expertise in gamified multimedia experiences is a great addition to the Polygon NFT ecosystem. And so what I want to mention here is going to be the fact that they're now moving to Polygon, and they've gotten quite a mixed bag of reactions here. A lot of people have been extremely supportive, and a lot of people have just been wondering why they're moving. But again, I think expanding into other networks is going to be the narrative here that we're going to see continuing to grow here over the course of the next few months. We've already got platforms like Meld, Book.io, we've got World Mobile, just so many others, just doing the same exact thing, moving into Polygon, moving into Ethereum, and just moving into other networks outside of Cardano. I think that it is good to collaborate, and obviously we all appreciate Cardano, but we can't live in our own little bubble. And so it says here, in November of 2022, we announced our rebrand from ADA Ninjas to Danketsu. The reason for this was to enable for us to allow for this multi-chain vision, not limiting all that Danketsu has to offer to Cardano alone. Now, this exciting move will focus on 3 key factors. Number 1 is going to be the cataclysm. Number 2 is going to be the expansion of the Danketsu hustle. And number 3 is going to be the migration of the Atsuko collection. Now, with this expansion, they aim to do the following: integrate Polygon into Danketsu missions and the wider Hustle platform, as well as develop missions for partners on Polygon and the whole Hustle platform for projects on Polygon as a white label service. That is going to bring us to a close here for today's Cardano Scoop, in which we've talked about the weekly Cardano development report, some recent price action within Bitcoin and Cardano, as well as Genius Yield, NMKR adopting AI, and the Danketsu project moving over to Polygon. If you guys found today's update to be helpful or insightful in any way, shape, or form, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content just like this, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me surrounding any of the topics that we've talked about today, then please make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.